is larger than life. It is called Texas high school football. Only one show can bring the greatest sport from the greatest state into focus. Lone Star Gridiron.
Chris Koetting joining us now from Canadian High School, Air Canada, here on the Coach That Makes a Difference here on the Lone Star Gridiron.com report. Let me ask you, first of all, I want to go back to when you were playing, specifically one game. You're at Panhandle. You're going up against the Hamlin Pied Pipers, and they were coached by Art Briles, and you guys needed a good possession in the fourth quarter, and what do you know? You kept it the entire 12 minutes. I mean, that's unheard of.
Yeah, it was definitely a unique situation because at that time, if there was a tie, there was no sudden death. I mean, it was, whoever had the most penetration. So they punted the ball to us down to the 1 yard line, and then we just had the ball the whole quarter and got inside the 20 and won the game by getting inside the 20-yard line. So I think one guy ran the ball like 20 times in that drive, and we ran the same play about 16 or 17 times. I mean, it was crazy, but that was a game that a lot of people like to talk about, especially with Art Briles being the coach at Hamlin, Texas, and but that was a really neat experience.
And it got some national recognition too, didn't it?
Yeah. They a guy from Sports Illustrated called and wanted to know about that game because he was doing a article about Art Briles, and Art Briles was talking about the game. And I actually ran into Art Briles back in the spring, and we talked a little bit about the game, and he remembered things that I didn't even remember about that game. So I thought that was pretty neat that he remembered that stuff. So
let's talk about your travels to Canadian, your coaching tree, coaches that made a difference in your life.
Yeah, it would start with, my high school football coach, Stocky Lamberson. He was he was a legendary coach in the Panhandle, and all my coaches in high school really, I think I knew in high school that I wanted to be a coach, and it had to do with those coaches because of the relationships that I had with them, and I wanted to be just like those guys. So I really appreciate that, and that's kind of set me on the path that I'm on right now.
Talk about the going from being on a run-oriented offense when you played to now eventually getting into an Air Canada, passing the ball all over the field. How did that transpire? We had we were more of a run-based team before we started this offense. We were, in the I formation. We had a really good tailback. They ended up playing defensive end for OU, Austin English, and we had some good fullbacks and tight end type guys, and we kind of started running out of those guys, but we had a bunch of little guys that were quick and were athletic. So we just kind of moved to that style of offense, and it's really been the best thing we've ever done, because it really fits our kids, and our kids love it, and they believe in it, and so it's been a really good move for us. And assistant coaches always kind of go a long way in making a head coach who he ends up becoming. Tell me about your assistant coaches and the importance of an offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator, a strength coach, all those guys.
Well, I cannot say enough about our assistant coaches. I'm prejudiced, but I think they're the best in the state. And the thing about our coaches is, they're great. They know their position in and out, and they're great coaches, but they're also great people. And I think they have a big impact on our kids as people just as much as they do as football players. So I really appreciate them for that. But I just can't say enough about these guys. And a lot of us have been together for a long time, and that continuity, I think, has really helped our program to have, that quality of guys for that long. So, just can't say enough about those guys.
Tell me about 2007. What do you just kind of remember about that year, that state championship?
Well, that was the first year we went to the spread offense, So, and quite honestly, we're not very good at it until about late in the season. Everything kind of came together. But that was probably the funnest year ever because we weren't expecting. I think we were picked to third in our district, and then we just kept winning. Every week was a surprise. I think our kids, they didn't have a lot of pressure on them, so because we weren't picked to win. I don't think one game in the playoffs, maybe one our first playoff game, and but it was just such a awesome deal, and to win the first football state championship in Canadian history, that was really special and a special time, and it was fun, working under Kyle Lynch. He was the head coach, and it was just amazing year.
And to fast forward to now, the only school to win it in football and basketball back-to-back years. That's an amazing feat all to itself. Yeah,
we actually, we talked about that, after we won both last year. Well, let's go do it again, it's easy to say that, but there's just a lot of things have to happen your way, to go your way for that to happen. But and then after we won it in football again, we actually talked about it in the dressing room. Talked about, hey, let's go win a basketball state championship, I'm really kind of amazed that those kids did that. It's really that's quite a feat, something that's never been done in the state of Texas before in UI history. That's quite an accomplishment, and it says a lot about our kids. So very proud of them for that.
And Andy Copley's done a great job. His son coming over, he was a part of a championship at another school at Water Valley, and then he comes here. Give me your thoughts about the personnel, the kind of kids that are over there in Canadian. Are they easy to coach? Are they the kind of kids that you want on your team?
Yeah, I feel like we're so fortunate that the kids we get to work with. And the thing is, those younger kids, they get to watch those older guys, and they kind of see how they carry themselves and how they work and things like that. So by the time they get into 7th grade, they kind of have seen what it looks like, and we're just very fortunate because our kids are generally, very, very unselfish, and they work extremely hard and they play well as a team. So that's all you can ask for as a coach.
And thoughts about the ring, Lone Star Gridiron. You're part of a history there of being the first ring that was given out, and it's very sharp looking. It's nice and maybe unexpected, huh?
It's awesome, and just the fact that y'all did that's amazing, and I'm very grateful to get this ring for sure.
Very good. Chris Koetting, thank you so much. A coach that really does make a difference over at Canadian High School.
LoneStarGridiron.com. Access the complete history of Texas high school football, over 100 years of information, win-loss records, coaching histories, individual stats, records, and more. Lone Star Gridiron, the authority on Texas high school football.